Hi everyone, Caroline here. So today I want to share with you about another way that I'm noticing that spiritual protection is happening for me. I know that many of us who have been on this journey are kind of averse to that word protection because we now understand that the light protects us, and so we don't really have to go about doing all these other practices that people used to do before, which were really necessary and maybe are still necessary depending on what one situation is. You've got to protect yourself and take all kinds of precaution to protect your own life and protect your experiences. You know what I mean? But for a lot of us, people sort of understand that energetic protection is about the light. And I've spoken about that a lot myself. And I know from the comments that people are in agreement with that, but that's not what I'm going to be talking about today. Today, I want to talk about a different thing, which is another new way that I am noticing that I am being protected. I'm telling you, we cannot be asleep to some of these shenanigans that are happening in the background, or some of these nefarious energies that still try to attack our energies. I'm realizing that I cannot just sit there and assume that I'm not going to be attacked, because some energies have tried to enter into my energetic space. And thank God for the light protection. Thank God for my higher guide protections. You know what I mean? All these measures that are in place that in many cases I probably wouldn't know what to do. You know what I mean? But because of the light that I carry and because my higher guides are taking care of me, I have been protected. And this is what I want to talk about. So anyway, let me tell you what I mean. The other day, I was just laying down and then suddenly I had this experience that felt like sleep paralysis. I don't know if some of you remember in the early days of awakening where most people used to report kind of having this feeling of having a presence that just would come and take over your body or press on you or just make you feel like you were in some kind of outer world experience. And in that experience, you couldn't move your hands and you'd feel like it was just like the worst kind of thing. Most people, I think, know what that sleep paralysis thing means. And then you'd see things that look like evil things and whatnot, and you'd be trying to scream and whatnot to try to get out of that situation. If you remember what that is the kind of thing that I kind of felt. And I've not felt that thing in a long, long, long time. But as I was just laying there, suddenly I felt that experience. And then the next thing I knew, I sensed a dark presence hovering over me, and I could sort of see it with my third eye. And it had in its hand something that looked like a torch or a spotlight. And it started shining that light into my left eye. And you know, the left eye is the receiving eye, where you receive information and where you receive light. So this being had the audacity to shine a fake light through my third eye to force me to receive that kind of light, trying to mess with me, who knows what real light is, who works with real light that actually transforms me, that comes from the sun. This being had the audacity to approach me when I was in sort of a vulnerable state, just about to fall asleep, and shine from an external source a fake light into my eye to force me to receive information. Actually, I was just in complete horror and disbelief. And what happened was just so shocking to me. Anyway, as I was laying there, paralyzed in shock, a golden sheet of light just came and cut through the area between my eyes and that spotlight and prevented that being from continuing to shine that spotlight into my eyes. And I saw that being disappear. And I woke up immediately from that experience and I felt such energy flowing through me and such relief at how my guides had intervened to protect me from this being that was bringing in this external light and trying to interfere with my beingness. You know what I mean? So the thing that I realized is that spiritual protection is still occurring, and spiritual protection is going to continue to occur, and it is still so necessary and it is still so needed. And the more light we carry, the more light beings we become, the more spiritual protection is going to be happening. But it's not going to be happening in the way that we are used to, in the way where we ourselves are protecting ourselves out of fear per se. Spiritual protection is going to come from the higher realms, from your higher guides, from the higher beings, because of the light that you carry. And it's just something that's going to be happening in ways that we don't expect. But let us not be asleep to the idea that other beings out there do not want to come for us, do not want to come for our light, do not want to stop us in our tracks, do not want to throw confusion. You know what I mean? These energies with bad intents are still out there. It's just that they don't have power over us the way they used to have power over us. And it's just that we are overcoming them and have overcome them and will continue to overcome them. But that doesn't mean that we should be asleep to these things. So, what do you think about spiritual protection or this subject that I'm talking about, and how have you experienced it yourself? Let me know in the comment section. And until next time, I love you guys. We are safe.